And then Paul lands with both feet. Chapter 2, verse 1, therefore thou art inexcusable. No excuse. Romans chapter 1, verse 20 said, they are without excuse. No excuse. No excuse. A little later, Paul says in chapter 3, he says, every mouth will be stopped and the whole world become guilty before God. Therefore thou art inexcusable, no excuse, O man. Notice how the verse is not aimed at the Christian, but any man, O man, any man, whosoever, you see. 2 verse 1, whosoever, any man, not just Romans. O man, whosoever thou art that judgest. For where thou judgest another, thou condemnest thyself, for thou that judgest doest the same things. And of course that's aimed at an unsaved man. Isn't it strange how these liberals keep quoting, judge not lest ye be judged of the Christian, when the Christian is preaching the truth? When a Christian tries to win a man to Christ and tells the man that outside of Christ is going to hell, the liberal always says, judge not lest ye be judged. But isn't that a strange thing? Why, Paul says of the Christian in 1 Corinthians, he that is spiritual judges all things. Yet he himself is judge of no man. Paul says in Corinthians, we have the mind of Christ. When we tell a man he's going to hell, we're not judging him. We're telling him what's going to happen to him because God has already judged him. The Bible said, he that believeth on the Son hath everlasting life, and he that believeth not the Son of God shall not see life, but the wrath of God abideth on him. He that believeth not is condemned already, John 3:36, because he hath not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God. We don't judge anybody. They're already judged. We're telling the man about the sentence. We don't pass sentence. I don't tell any man I consign him to hell. I wouldn't consign a man to hell if I had the opportunity. But if you're unsaved, you're consigned. I didn't do it. Don't get mad at me. But you see, the people who do the judging are unsaved people. O man, whosoever thou art that judgest, for when thou judgest another, thou condemnest thyself, for thou that judgest doeth the same things. When an unsaved man says, you see that hypocrite in the church, do you know what he's done? He's cut his own throat. Tell me something, Buster Brown. If you're so sharp at knowing the faults of Christians, you must know the difference between right and wrong. Then how do you imagine you're going to get by the judgment talking about the heathen that don't know? When you know. As soon as you've drawn judgment on a man, you've shown you have the ability to judge. Once you've done that, you show that in your conscience and heart, you know right and wrong. You condemn yourself. You're without excuse. You have no excuse. All have sinned and come short of the glory of God. Chapter 2, verse 2. But we are sure. We don't hope, we don't guess, we don't think. We're very dogmatic about it. We're very intolerant, bigoted, narrow-minded about it. We know exactly what we're talking about. We are sure. We are, now maybe you're not, we are sure that the judgment of God is according to truth against them which commit such things. I've talked to Christians who had beer in the icebox, and they talked about the hypocrites in the church that played cards. I've talked to Christians that played cards, they talked about the hypocrites that smoked. I've talked to Christians that smoked, they talked about the hypocrites that went to ball games. I've talked to the Christians who went to ball games, they talked about the hypocrites that went to movies. I've talked to Christians who went to movies, they talk about the hypocrites that believe in mixed bathing. A woman came to Jim Mercer one time with a big dip of tuberose in her mouth, that's snuff. And she said, preacher? She said, what does that verse mean, that Bible that says, with that big wad of snuff in her lip? She said, what does that verse scripture mean that says, whatever is not of faith is sin? What does that mean? And he looked her right smack in the eyeballs and said, well, what do you think it means? And she said, well, if it don't mean going to the ball game on Sunday, I don't know what it do mean. And then spit into a can. That's human nature. If you live wrong, the world will call you a hypocrite, and if you live right, they'll call you a fanatic. So settle it in your heart. If you're a child of God, settle it, and settle it once and for all. If you're going to go all out for God, you're going to be a fanatic and a crackpot and a nut and a weirdo and crazy. And if you're not going to live for God, they're going to call you a hypocrite, so just make up your mind and jump one way or jump the other. We are sure the judgment of God is according to truth against them which commit such things. And thinkest thou this, O man, any man, that judgest them which do such things and doest the same, that thou shalt escape the judgment of God? No, you certainly won't. You certainly won't. He's appealing to you. Don't you see it? What you need is mercy, not judgment. Don't you get it? It's not that you can hide behind the list and find some place where you don't fit and get by. It's like the photographer said to the lady when he took her picture, "Lady, you don't need justice, you need mercy." At the Shelby County Courthouse in Memphis, there are 6 statues 12 feet high around the Shelby County Courthouse. One of them is wisdom with head bowed. One of them is justice, blind. One of them is muscular authority. One is liberty, saluting peace. And peace has the hand over the heart. Peace has a harp in its hand. Prosperity has water and fruit. But of those 6 statues around the Shelby County Courthouse, there's one notable statue that is missing. There is no mercy at the Shelby County Courthouse in Memphis, Tennessee. There are 6 statues, wisdom, justice, authority, liberty, peace, and prosperity, but no mercy. And if you want mercy, you'll have to come to God for it. And your prayer had better be, "God, be merciful to me, a sinner," not "give me liberty," or "give me death," or "give me justice." You don't need justice, believe me. I know your case better than you do. What you need is mercy, if the book of Romans has your picture photographed like the master photographer intended to take it. On our next volume, volume 3 of our study, we'll take up our commentary in Romans chapter 2, verse 4.